Athenian democracy, established in the 5th century BCE, is one of the earliest known democratic systems in history and laid the foundation for many modern democratic principles. Originating in the city-state of Athens, Greece, it was distinct from today's representative democracies because it was a direct democracy, meaning that citizens actively participated in decision-making rather than electing representatives to do so. However, not everyone in Athens had the right to participate. Only free male citizens born to Athenian parents could be involved. Women, slaves, and foreigners were excluded, limiting the inclusiveness of the system. Out of a population of about 300,000, only around 30,000 were eligible citizens. Central to this system was the Ekklesia, or assembly, where all citizens could gather to discuss and vote on important issues like laws, military strategies, and foreign policies. The assembly met around 40 times per year, and decisions were made by majority vote, often with thousands of citizens attending each meeting. Supporting the assembly was the Boule, a council of 500 citizens chosen by lot from the 10 Athenian tribes. The Boule played a preparatory role, drafting proposals for the Ekklesia to debate, and overseeing the implementation of decisions. Members of the Boule served for 1 year, and could only serve twice in their lifetime, to prevent any one person from accumulating too much influence. One of the most unique features of Athenian democracy was the use of sortition, or random selection, for filling many public offices. This included members of the Boule, magistrates, and even judges in the popular courts, ensuring that ordinary citizens could participate in governance. The idea behind sortition was to prevent corruption and maintain equality among citizens. The dikasteria, or popular courts, were another essential part of Athenian democracy. Jurors were also selected by lot, and they had significant power in interpreting laws and settling disputes. The courts could even overturn decisions made by the assembly or public officials, acting as a check on political power. Public officials were generally chosen by lot and were subject to strict term limits. At the end of their term, they were subject to euthymia, a process where their conduct in office was reviewed, and they could face punishment for misconduct. Ostracism was another tool used in Athenian democracy, allowing the assembly to exile a citizen for 10 years if they were perceived as a threat to the state, often to prevent any one individual from gaining excessive power. Even without committing a crime, someone could be ostracized purely as a preventive measure. Over time, Athenian democracy faced several challenges, including internal conflict and external threats. It was briefly replaced by oligarchic regimes, such as the 430 tyrants, though these were short-lived. By the mid-4th century BCE, external forces, particularly the rise of Macedon under Philip II and his son Alexander the Great, eroded Athenian independence and democratic institutions. Despite continuing as a city-state, Athens eventually came under the control of larger Hellenistic and Roman empires, losing its democratic system. Although Athenian democracy had its limitations, particularly the exclusion of women, slaves, and foreigners, its focus on citizen participation, equality before the law, and the accountability of leaders are foundational principles that have influenced many democratic systems today. It stands as a significant model in the history of political organization, where power was placed in the hands of the people, and collective responsibility was emphasized.